Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pathfinder Kingmaker. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as we talk to this charming young man. He might not be young. Also, he might not be a man. No, probably he's judging by the size of the chest. A handsome, well-dressed, young... I was right. I was just right. I was on the handsome, I was right on everything. About 17 years old, looks at you with a polite smile. So, you're the famous slayer of Staglord's gang, soon to be a baroness. Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Lander. What? Why the ellipses? I'm really not a big fan of ellipses in the middle of words, or ellipses at all, but not words in the middle of sentences. Just Lander? No last name? No title? Well, let's just say I'm here incognito. Under my circumstances, it's wise to keep one's lineage to oneself. Truth be told, that's precisely what I wanted to speak with you about. You see, I'm an heir to one of the Brevoy's noble houses. I won't say which, but believe me, a newly appointed baroness with no connections would do well to have a friend like me. I travel the country in secret, without servants, so I can see it for myself. Not from a carriage window, but face to face with the people. My family would never approve, of course, but then I never asked. I need to know Brevoy if I'm going to rule a part of it someday. I know Jamandi wants to impose her stepson on you as an emissary of Brevoy. Refuse. Take me instead. Don't look at my age. While they may have trained this half-orc to swing a sword, I've been training to rule since I was a child. I'll be of far greater use to you, both now and in the future, after I have a firm position in my family. Huh. So, are you from Restovic nobility? Oh no, I'm not from here. I'm just visiting, you could say. I wanted to see for myself the heroes who managed to conquer the frontier lands, and the Lord Mayor was kind enough to invite me to this wonderful party. So tell me again what you're doing here. I travel the country in secret, without servants. I told you about that. Yes, you did. Thank you. So tell me once more. No, don't tell me once more. I'll consider your proposal. Yes, do so. And carefully. I don't like it. I don't like that dude. I don't mingle with guy. Done the mingle. I've done all the mingle. And now I need to talk to Jamandi over there. Who is this mysterious young man named Lander? Couldn't care less. Actually, I could care a little bit less, but let's have a chat with Jamandi over here and proceed with the official bits of this, well, not coronation because we're not really receiving a crown, but yeah.
So, how do you like our little gathering? I hope you've made some useful connections. Shall we move on to the official proceedings?
Before we begin, I'd like to talk about the envoy I'll be taking with me.
My apprentice, Casil Aldori, will go with you, won't he?
Yes, that's my decision.
Whatever you choose, I won't argue. But you must choose your inner circle with the utmost care.
You hear that? You hear that, Casil? That's his name right there. My inner circle. I don't know if he's gonna stay in my team. Honestly, depends on what he is. If he can replace Harim, then great. Otherwise, yeah, probably not. Yeah, let's begin.
Excellent. Stand here. Lords and ladies, today we are here to honor 3 brave people who have done the impossible. They've tamed the stolen lands. Baron Hannes Drelev, the new master of Glenabon. Captain Maegor Varn, the conqueror of Dunsword. And finally, the tamer of the Shrike Hills, who put an end to the atrocities of the Staglord's bandits. Step forward. On behalf of the people of the free city of Restov, I confer upon you this noble title. Rise, your grace.
Victory! The Stag Lord's dead, and the capital of the new barony has been built in place of his fort. That was how the long and challenging taming of the stolen lands began.
Greetings, Baroness, they say. Welcome, Your Grace. Gaston salutes you. You can see he's a bit anxious, and it seems he'd rehearsed this speech many times. Let me once again congratulate you on your victory and your new title. Lady Menti transferred me here. I'm at your disposal. I'm not one to bestow honors, but I want you to know I'm glad to serve you. I'm here to welcome you on behalf of our new capital citizens. The Stag Lord's former stronghold will soon be a thriving city where word travels fast, and the first settlers have already arrived, with new ones approaching as we speak. While you were visiting Restov, much has been done here. Your benefactors, the Aldori, invested a great deal of resources into rebuilding the city. I stand ready to answer your questions and to show you around the most important sites. Well, that was quite a speech right there. Thank you. So where are my companions? They're all somewhere around here, but I never kept an eye on who went where exactly. Well, I assume Tristian is with Jod, and you can always find Lindsay. Just follow the noise and turmoil. Okay. Are there any citizens I should know about? Our old acquaintance Jod is right here. Erastil's clerics normally don't like cities much, but he's eager to serve you. Also, the emissary from Brevoy is here, waiting for you in the throne room. There's also this curious matter. An elf had paid us a visit, a blind elf. Desna only knows how he managed to get here. He seems a peaceful, even pleasant fellow, though naturally a little odd, so I let him stay a while. It's up to you to decide what to do with him now. That's it. That's about it, I guess. And he scratches his head. What do you mean a little odd? Why is it naturally it's just blind? I mean, I guess maybe it's an elf. Maybe that... Are you saying that elves are... I will punch you. Keston, I will punch you. You'll get even more... That's not scars, that's just stubble. So what's the mood of the people here? I must admit, I've never seen anything like that my whole life. A city, a whole barony born right in front of our eyes. The people sense the moment, and today we're feeling proud. As a rule, I'm not too cheerful or chatty. I normally feel out of place among all the rejoicing, but today is just one of those days. Okay, main question is then, where can I get a drink or 3? It's time to toast to my victory. He hesitates a brief moment and then laughs. I'll make sure to show you the moment we enter the city. The tavern was the first business that opened. Building a city is thirsty work, and I beg your forgiveness for my behavior during your reception. I drank a little too much. It is a day for celebration. Yes. I'm ready to look around the city. Lead the way. He's pretty friendly. I'm not sure if I want my subjects being all friendly like this. I should be the one to bestow upon you the forgiveness here. It's not... I should be the one saying it is a day for celebration. Or make sure it doesn't happen again. But anyway, follow me, your grace. Yes, please do. I like this grace business. It's good stuff. That's Lindsay over there. I mean, maybe not. Greetings, your grace. We are, well, your new subjects. We're selecting a site to build our house. This could be a dialogue. It's wet near the lake and windy up here on the hill, says the other guy. A fine place to throw garbage at your neighbors' heads, though. Ouch. There's babies already. Good stuff. It's a good thing you got rid of those monsters and bandits, your grace. So that's not Lindsay. I can't zoom in. I can't really see. I wonder if I can skip this. Do you recognize this place, your grace? This is where the Stag Lord's fortress wall was used to be. Not that it saved him in the end, huh? Yep. We got traders already. Good stuff. Our workers did a fine job turning this bandit den into the heart of the town. Well, it's a shame it's nighttime, because I'd love to see this in the daytime. The heart of every town is its main square. We plan to hold street festivities and fairs here. Look, we already have our first vendor. Indeed. I suppose we're gonna get like a little bit of a tutorial regarding where to go in the town and all that sort of stuff. Greetings, your grace. Indeed. Oh, there's more things. He points. He's very pleased with himself. He's not saying anything, though. The tavern's ale is blessed by Caden Kalian himself, I swear. And the lady who owns it is a gem. Your grace, those are our guards. They keep order in the city. Oh my god. Well, you can pause and read. I know what guards are, thank you. Is that a rim over there? I think so, that's the cape. Here's the observation platform. I hope one day your capital will grow large enough that we won't be able to see to its full extent from this perch. Yeah, I remember seeing that as well. It was probably the first time we saw that, so makes sense why we saw that before. I'm glad we did see that before. And also I know now where we are. We're on the northwestern part of this. The building in front of us is your residence. That's where we'll head to now. Indeed. I want these guards to be a little bit less... Can I change their clothing? Can I be like, I want you all in orange instead of white? White's too bad because it just gets dirty. Orange as well, but orange and black is amazing. And all the shades and all the dirtiness, that's good. Orange is a good clothing color. Ooh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Did we have this when we came in here? So I was wondering if we had seen this before when we came over here, but unfortunately my microphone got corrupted, so I'm replaying some of this. I recorded this already, what comes after next, and ooh, what comes after next? Is that a word? But we're into good things. Do you see this table over here? Oh, the good things. So yeah, we're gonna manage our barony. I'm not barony, not barony. And I've already read all the things, and I know what to do, and it's amazing because I know what to do. I really was a little bit lost the first time around. So let's see what we have over here. So now we've reached the main chamber, says Keston. This is the throne room where you'll hold court and receive visitors. Let me draw your attention to this large map depicting your barony and its surroundings. We'll mark all the important scout reports and other news worthy of your grace's attention. Greetings, your grace, says Cassiel. Of course, he's Jamandi's ward, giving a polite bow. It was a pleasure to meet you at the Restov reception. On behalf of your allies and benefactors, the Aldori Sword Lords, I'd like to offer you some advice. And we have some stuff over here that doesn't matter at all. I don't know why they show it, but yeah, it matters for later, it's fine. At least we know it comes from here, from this point. You can solve most of your barony's problems by granting appointments to the right people, responsible people. Important bit, responsible people. But certain state businesses, or certain state business, will demand your personal attention, as will the visits of especially important guests. Reports of such outstanding events will be marked on your map. You can always check it while considering your plans. According to the ancient traditions of Brevoy and most of the River Kingdoms, ruler... we're also, by the way, we're gonna start dealing with this stuff. Dealing with things regarding invasions and stuff. Not necessarily invasions, listen up for right now, but I'll show you in a little bit. Rulers address affairs of state and receive visitors at the beginning of the month. My advice to you is that you maintain this tradition and regularly visit your capital when needed. The first thing you should do as a ruler is assign loyal people to all the important positions in your barony. Your clerics, Judd and Trishan, were the first to seek an audience. I won't distract you further, and I'll leave you to consider. Once again, my congratulations. May your rule be long and prosperous. Thank you very much. That's Judd coming up. Oh, your grace, allow me to congratulate you on receiving the title of Baroness. I am confident that you will be able to bring order to these troubled lands. Though, to be honest, this isn't exactly what we wanted to speak to you about. Trishan and I have been talking a great deal about what happened at the Temple of the Elk. It doesn't all make sense to us yet, but one thing is clear. There's a powerful curse at work. It corrupted the very essence of that sacred place, steeping it with putrescence. I'm disgusted with whoever could do this. And now there is a new woe. Trishan and I believe the curse did not simply disperse of its own accord. There is a place near the capital rumored by the locals to be cursed. Trishan and I visited this dreadful place, and we felt the same putrescence as at the Temple of the Elk. Okay, what is this place? Where is it? There is a bald hilltop not far from here. And he says a bald hilltop, but it's literally called Bald Hilltop. As far as I know. To the north of the capital, its crown is entirely barren of life. The locals believe that rituals glorifying the dark gods were held there back in ancient times. There is no longer any trace of such rituals, but the air around the hilltop is heavy to the point of stifling. This place is like a rotting wound, closed but not healed. And this wound will undoubtedly open again. Trishan and I felt something approaching, something ominous. The curses will soon return to plague us once more, I swear by Erastil. Okay, I'll go there as soon as I'm able to. I would be happy to accompany you, says Trishan, but I would not expect to see anything new there at present. I agree with Trishan. We have been to this hilltop. It's barren, but filled with a dense atmosphere of unease. Okay, what do you suggest? The curse will grow in strength, and we predict it will reach the peak of its strength, in about 1 month. That's when we should visit the bald hilltop and resolve this issue. For now, we can only wait and prepare, says Trishan. We beg your pardon, your grace, for intervening with you getting the grasp of your barony. I'm sure you have even more pressing matters at hand right now. Yes. So they'll come back. They'll show that again in a month, I suppose, which is not gonna take that long. So all the tutorials, and we can name our lands, which is pretty cool. And Gilladel is the name of my character. It comes from Tolkien, and I'm pretty sure I came up with that name inspired by Gil-galad, which is a great hero in the second era, I'm pretty sure, of the Tolkien mythos. And I believe he went to Gondolin, which is my favorite. Oh, by the way, you can do WSD in here, which is weird. And I believe he visited Gondolin, or came from there, or founded it, maybe. And Gondolin is my favorite city of Eriador? No. Is it? I don't know. I don't remember the name of the place. It's in the lands that eventually sunk, and at the time of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, there's no all that land basically sunk into the ocean in a great cataclysm, which is what changed the second to the third era. So here is the map, and we can zoom in or out, but we can't move around. Can I right click? No, I can middle click. I can press M. It's weird because I can't go back there now because I can only do this. But if we click over here, we can eventually get in there into that screen again. That's our capital, Tuskdale. We can change its name if we want to. And this is all the stolen lands. And look at that. I haven't looked at it too much. 1,000 voices. And Shrike. Have we learned about what Shrike is? No, we have not. Shrike Hills are named after the Shrike River, winding along them, which in turn got its name from the numerous flocks of birds that nest along its length. Deep and affluent, it could have made a great trade route if not for its numerous and deadly rapids. The hills are equally deceptive, green and lush. They shelter countless monsters and bandits, which is great, because we killed them. And also, I was wondering if we could make the rapids not be rapids anymore, and because that's a thing that you can do. I'm not sure if you can do that in the game, because it would be cool to found more cities up there. So we have the events over here, which are none. We have the projects which we are going to be able to sort by. We can sort by that. We have also regions, which is cool because we can declare the outskirts as part of my kingdom. Unfortunately, that just fast forwards time, and it's a terrible thing to do first. So first things first, we're gonna just get our advisors. We don't have treasury advisors though, which is a problem. So we have over here our regent. The regent ensures subjects' complaints and concerns are heard by the ruler, and serves as a link between the baroness and the people. And we can choose between Octavia. They all give the same buffs, but they will change their options depending on what they on their alignments and their ideology and all that sort of stuff. The tutorial talks about that. And we have Valerie as well. So it says down here what they will do. Valerie strives to follow the letter of the law. Unfortunately, here the letter of the law means nothing in this game because, of course, I am the law. Not really, not quite like that, because we're still subject to the kingdom, to the families and all that sort of stuff. But you can't change the law. So no, I want Octavia, who will strive to solve problems peacefully, which is great. Then we have Counselor over here, deals with troubles of the common folk and helps settle land disputes and agricultural matters, which is the most exciting place. This advisor ensures citizens remain loyal to the throne, and that's only Tristan with a +3. What will he do? He cares for the people over all other concerns. That's pretty good. I like it. And on the general, which is our army, of course we have many of them, but I'm gonna go with Emery. The general is the highest ranking officer in the army of the barony and is responsible for watching the borders and protecting the realm. And Emery favors a direct approach. That's what I want. Cassiel could be our general, but no, Emery, she's better. She's got a bigger sword. No pun intended. And then, okay, we could read over here. The treasurer's duty is to keep the coffers of the barony full and ensure any gold spent is spent wisely. And on the high priest, no matter what deity he serves, the high priest strives to satisfy the spiritual needs of all citizens in the barony. And you can imagine that we could put Harim in here, and that would be a terrible, terrible idea. I'm not going to subject I'm not gonna subject people to him. He favors unusual but effective solutions. I'm gonna go with Jod. He has lower things, but yeah, it does its best to solve problems without disrupting local traditions. Let's go with that. It's probably for the better. We can also skip a day, and if you click that, you immediately skip a day. It's terrible. Don't click it. I don't really see a reason to do that at this moment. So we're not gonna do that right now. We are gonna look at these things, especially first things first on Octavia's training. So we can train Trishan, because they're lower level than we are, Regongar, and Octavia. Unfortunately, that means that's only doable by Trishan over there, and it costs money. It takes 7 days. We can see the money on this side over here. We have more money than I remember having. Maybe we don't. But that's good. That's done. Then we have a curse, which is good. This takes a long time, so this is the curse that we was... No, wait a minute. It isn't. It's a different one. It's a different curse. Now that the Undead Engineer's curse has been lifted, it might be prudent to study it and be more prepared next time. This is Nettle, that guy that... Davik Nettle, that guy that was in the shore. And it's gonna take a long while. The problem is it's Jod. So and Jod is needed for another thing. Not in economy, because we can't do anything here. We have some trade agreements. We'll try to look into that in a little bit. And we also have this. So this is Esvanki's offer, which is to make a temple, and that would probably be good. Esvanki was the guy that suggested he would build a temple for free. Esvanki Key, I suppose that's how it's pronounced, the GH there, from as in the light GH, or rather the GH in light. High Priest of Erastil from Restov has a strong interest in spreading the Stag Lord's or the Stag God's faith across the region. He is eager to build a shrine dedicated to Erastil on your lands, but at his own expense. Accept his offer if you wish to gain a useful ally and a place of worship for Erastil. Now, I'm not really interested in the gods right now, but I will be doing this. The sooner the better, I would assume. I'm gonna start the project because that's for free. And now these are a choice. We can pillage the Temple of the Elk, or we can rebuild the Temple of the Elk. Unfortunately, rebuilding it costs a lot of money, and takes a long time. And also, I can't do it because it's with Jod, so it's a pretty terrible. You can't do it, basically. Clicking doesn't do anything. It's a pretty terrible option. I'm gonna pillage because Amiri is itching for something. We're also getting these, and we're gonna level up the rank. I don't actually know... Kingdom... How do we gain that? How are... Because we're going to gain these over time. Kingdom stat value. How do I do that? Are the options that I'm doing... Excuse the hiccup. That's giving me military, right? Yes, it is. And that's where the buffs come from. Right there. Gotcha. Yeah, that was part of the tutorial that I skipped. And that's basically that. No, it's not that. That's not the only thing. We are also going to do... we're going to do this. But unfortunately, because it uses me up, for 14 days I can't do anything. So that sounds like a terrible idea. I maybe do that. Maybe we'll do that. But we will leave first. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I want to do this. Because I can enter. I haven't looked at this yet. Look at all the stats. I can enter. But we're going to... This is not entering the city as in what we did before, where we were before. Yes. This is the building. And this does not look familiar to me. I have no idea. I can't even drag or... There's not... Yeah. This does not look familiar. Chaotic Neutral. Gondolin. That's not the building. That's not the city. Nothing is built yet. Good. And then we can build. We only have those spots. We have a lot of things, as you can tell. Does it not take time? Piers, wooden wall, barracks, brewery, all the nice things. It doesn't seem to take time. It does take 0 out of 10. What could that be? That's the 3rd, that's the 6th, that's the 9th. That's not it. We only have a certain amount of space. It is the space. We got 9. Oh, and the colors are where it goes. So where does the wall go? Oh, over there. Oh, that's really cool. Okay. Oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna want to look into that, but it's not gonna be this episode. We have a lot of things ahead of us. A lot of things, and some of it is very good for my rambling. Unfortunately, I'll claim any regions. I didn't read this one. Here's what you must do to claim a new region. Meet special conditions, regional conditions, collect sufficient BP. I don't know what BP is, but let's go with British Petroleum. Find an unoccupied advisor who can take charge, and I think we can do that, actually. We can just do... Yeah, Octavia can come with us, and that's pretty good. I want to do that early. I'm not really sure what that entails. Let's press M so I can show. It's this one over here. The outskirts. Yeah, I think so. It should say, oh, yeah, claim outskirts. So I want to go up there because it probably is going to give us BP. So could be barony pennies. I don't know. I have no idea what it means. If any of you is aware, let me know in the comments. Let us all know in the comments. And we're back over here. That's right, we can talk to everybody. We can talk to the ad chomper, we can talk to Jod, we can get our things over here. Not really. This is orange as it should be. I wonder if it's because of my color, because I'm pretty sure I chose orange. Nah, maybe not. What is my color? Can I not change it? Do I not have access to it? I might not have access to it. I am fatigued, which is pretty bad. I can sleep. Can I, actually? Oh, I didn't mean to. Well, I'll just press it for 8 hours. But that's not ideal. The problem is that the autosave happens after. Oh well, it's better than what I did the first time around, which was skip a day for no reason. Well, I didn't see this bed yet, or this room. It's a nice room. I would use this up better, but I mean, maybe I'm not rich enough to have things. So let's have a chat with everybody. Oh yeah, and there's a lot of more people outside as well. We can go outside.
How may I serve you, your grace?
So what services do you offer? I can sell you various divine spell scrolls. If you don't have anyone in your group to read them, don't worry. While you are in the settlement, or indeed any place with a cleric willing to help, all you need is to open your bag and choose the scroll with the spell you want. I'll read it for you. However, be careful out there in the wilderness. The scroll is useless without someone who can read it. To use a scroll during a journey, you need a spellcaster whose magic gives access to the spell on it, or anyone skilled in using magic devices. Okay, how are you enjoying your duties as a high priest?
Everything is all well, your grace. I just keep forgetting what a mess it is in the stolen lands, and how troubled are the minds of its people. Sometimes I must listen to such nonsense from my visitors. Erastil, forgive them.
Yeah, it's basically like customer service, except a little bit different. Cassil, your grace, he says. I'd like to know more about you. Happy to serve, your grace. Tell me about your origins. I grew up alone. Oh, and get ready. I don't fully understand. Oh, no, it's not him. Now, just get ready, because we're going to learn about him. I grew up alone on the streets of Restov. I know nothing of my parents. It's more than likely that my mother just wanted to be rid of me. Probably left me somewhere in an alley as a baby, and I don't feel I have the right to blame her. And yeah, in this world, as far as I can tell, half-orcs are basically male orcs that probably rape human or other races, women. That's what he's assuming there, and that's how it usually is. I remember that's a very big theme of some quests in Arcanum, for example, and yeah, that's how that works. I don't remember how I survived, he says. My first memories of sneaking into someone's backyard. I must have been 3 or 4 and trying to steal food from a cat. Half-orc among the Brevik aristocracy is a rare sight indeed. He actually might not be a rare sight, because oh, no, wait a minute, it might be a rare sight. Later on, he's going to say something about that. But that's interesting to read that. Let's call back to that one in a little bit. Lady Jamandi Aldori herself brought me into the family. She picked me up off the streets when I was about 14. I was fighting some lord's guardsmen. Their master had expressed his wish in a most inappropriate manner to acquaint me with his female wolfhound in the hopes of producing offspring. I was at what would politely be called a disadvantage when I saw a flashing beam of light reflect off a lone sword. What happened next was too fast for me to follow, but all 3 of my torturers fell to the ground, a single woman standing above them. She turned to the Lord and coldly asked him, "And just what is it you're doing here?" I had never seen a Restovic noble so afraid, but he was also almost reverent, and this lord was a close companion of the mayor at that. At the time, I had no idea who this woman was, but I couldn't keep myself from rushing after her, well, hobbling really, and pleading with her, "Teach me, please, teach me." "So, what's it like for you, living among humans?" "It isn't easy, your grace. I was born and raised in Restov. I don't know a single word of Orc." Oh, also, yeah, it seems like Orc is... They are all the same language, I guess, not just a race, like all like others, which is also a common trope. I devoted my entire life to proving myself worthy to bear the name Aldori. But we're gonna learn about this later, by the way. It's pretty cool. But to most people, I'm still a half-orc first and foremost. Anything else is secondary. It infuriated me when I was younger, but with age, I've learned to accept my fate. To me, I'm simply Cassiel, a street urchin from Restov who became the student of Sword Lord Jamandi Aldori. Nothing more, nothing less. Could be a lot less than that, to be honest, but that's pretty cool. Thank you. Let's discuss something less personal. I need to discuss politics and affairs of the barony with you. How may I be of service, your grace? So what's the situation between the Aldori and the royal house Surtova? The Surtovas and the Aldoris are different in nature and spirit. They are as water and stone, a snake and an eagle. When Coral the Conqueror came to our lands, the Surtovas didn't even attempt to defend themselves. They gave up the crown in exchange for positions of power in the new court, along with the safety of their lands. The Aldori went to war and lost. I dare not even say valiantly lost. The damage inflicted on Rosland's armies by the Red Dragons of Coral the Conqueror, well, it was a slaughter, a crushing defeat. Even with 2 centuries of effort, the Aldori and Rosland have yet to fully recover. For 2 centuries we've fought for survival, while the Surtovas have flourished and grown stronger at the side of the throne. Needless to say, now that King Noleski Surtova and his sister Natala rule over Brevoy, our relationship hasn't improved. The Surtovas fear the Aldori, and the Aldori don't trust the Surtovas. That's the current situation between our houses. So what can you tell me about the River Kingdoms? In times past, they were little more than a nest of bandits. Frankly, that hasn't really changed. Of all the kingdoms, Pitax is probably of the greatest interest. King Girovetti rose to power too quickly and too easily. I would recommend your grace take great caution with him. Am I actually going to deal with him? Because that'd be interesting. We have, of course, heard of him from Lindsay. Lindsay is around somewhere. I think she's in here. There she is. You must know much of the history of Brevoy and the neighboring lands. His eyes light up. In Restov, I spent nearly as much time studying historical chronicles as I did training with a sword. What would you like to discuss, your grace? Tell me about the early history of Brevoy. Oh, that's a story written in blood. Aldori blood, mostly. In the beginning, Brevoy was 2 independent lands. House Surtova reigned over Isia, and Aldori ruled over Rostland. They were not peaceable neighbors. Peaceful, I think, would be the peaceful neighbors. I think I read it peaceful the first time around, but Isia's soil was too poor to sustain its population, and its people were too cruel and proud to simply stand by and watch as their neighbors prospered. I'd be willing to bet that Restov's northern walls still hold a few marks left by Surtova's soldiers during their frequent raids from ages past. It was Coral Rorgavia, later known as Coral the Conqueror, who put an end to all that. He brought each realm to its knees. Only one side knelt willingly. The other ended up first paying a devastating toll. Tell me about the Sword Lords, and this is where we're going to learn about the Aldori, which is pretty cool. I could speak for days about the Sword Lords, but I'll try to condense things so as not to bore your grace. Our history goes back to ancient times, when Rosland was ruled by Baron Syrian I. He was a notorious squabbler and duelist, but at the time he wasn't as skillful as he thought. After losing a fight against a local gang leader, and mind you, the Baron was the one who issued the challenge, he went into exile to hide his shame. But that was just the beginning. No one knows where Syrian wandered, but a few years later, he returned to Rosland, a changed man. He was probably farming and, leveling up. He challenged the same gang leader to another duel and bested him handily. The Baron then declared an open challenge. Anyone who could defeat him would be rewarded handsomely. There it is. Yeah. After that, not a month would pass without Syrian seeing another challenger. Renowned fighters and experienced warriors came and went, but not a single one could best the Baron. In those years, Syrian took on his new name, Aldori. But that's not how That should be a column, not a dash. But many people prefer to call him simply the Sword Baron. So, he was the first Sword Lord? The very same, he says. His heirs inherited the secrets of his dueling style along with the name Aldori. Ever since, the name has been passed down from master to student along with the title Sword Lord. The Aldori are simultaneously a family and an alliance. Sword Lord... Oh, this is cool. This is cool. Sword Lords will usually teach their own children, but many of us were brought in from outside the family. Occasionally, you can even find a half-orc fostering or two. And this, okay, so this is what I was meaning when I said that he said that half-orcs are not common. But I think this is... He gives a slight bow. I think this is not him admitting that occasionally you do find half-orcs. One or two. He just means it as a joke, sort of. Not a joke, but sort of a nod, as in, I'm an half-orc and I was fostering, and occasionally you see that. What is interesting here, and something when I recorded this, and only to find that recording was screwed, I went on at length about how the Romans adopted children. So, and they were their children. They were just adoptive children. It was a common thing for noble families in the Roman kingdom, and I think later in the Republic as well. But it might have fallen into disuse. I don't know about that exactly. But at least like from the year 700 to the year 300 before the Common Era, this would be common. That's what I know anyway, what I learned in university when I studied archaeology. And it's something that I don't know if the Greeks, well, of course they weren't known as the Greeks, the Hellenics, did. I don't think they did, but what I was saying is, I was wondering if the writers knew that the Romans had that tradition of just, they needed kids, it wasn't quite as simple as that, but to put it simply, if they needed kids, they would just adopt people, and sometimes they would adopt them men grown. Sometimes they would adopt generals of like 40 years of age, and when the family was still, when family members were still of 40 years or even younger sometimes. So there was a little bit of an interesting thing, that having the child being older than the parent, but they were full members of the family. Of course, it was a great honor for big families, but for small families, it was a good way to increase a household, and it was also dangerous sometimes. It's an interesting thing, but not a lot of people know that. It's not. I've never seen it referenced online or anything, and I've read about, not specifically about the Romans, like about history, because I learned that mostly from books, so not online. But now that I read this again, I'm pretty sure the writers did not know about this, because he puts it in such an interesting way that it's pretty obvious that this is meant to be a weird thing, because he says that they were a family and an alliance, when at least in Roman way, they were just a family. An alliance doesn't, and I say the Roman world, but I mean also in our current world, at least in Europe. If you adopt a kid, it's still your family. It's not. Oh, it's an alliance. It's not quite like that. Especially because we're talking about fostering kids, and so it's not even as drastic as the Romans did. But yeah, if you're writing fiction where you have a situation like this, you have at least a real world reference to draw from, because I'm pretty sure they didn't draw from that. Let's change the subject. Can I rely on you in matters of state? Certainly, Your Grace. To the best of my ability, I've learned from Lady Aldori not only the art of the sword, but also the ability to inspire. I could apply myself in the role of military advisor. Well, thank you, but you're not gonna, because Amiri is first. She's the primogenitus. Is it? No, that's not quite what it is. We also have Marchioness Clarida della Fiorni. Yeah. She doesn't say anything, though. We can zoom in. Yeah, it's a woman. And we have all the people over here. Could talk to Lindsay. Hey, Lindsay. She doesn't say anything. And neither does Octavia, actually. Hey, Octavia. Thank you for your work. We can manage the kingdom. talk to Keston. We have a lot of people to talk to, and we also need to go outside and talk to people outside. But we are out of time for the day, so we'll do that next episode. We'll also do some building, I think. We'll also do the conquering. It's not conquering, I guess, but it's declaring the wildlands to the north as our own. It's all gonna be amazing. But for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pathfinder Kingmaker. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye bye. That guy.